Yeah, I think it's time. Hmm? Yeah, it happened. He's a skrull. For now, for some short amount of time at least, during this episode of the show, War Machine was a skrull. It's cool. It's crazy. I feel like if this had come out of a little bit more of nowhere, this would feel more surreal because there's been so much buildup. I remember when they announced that he would be in this show. I remember when they announced they would make the show, and this was even, that was years after I had said War Machine would be a great skrull, and they said they were going to make a Secret Invasion show. I was like, oh, that would be a great place for War Machine. And then I remember when it was announced that he would be in it, and he was the big name attached to it that wasn't, one of these spy characters, and it was like, oh, it's got to be him. Honestly, I was kind of nervous weeks leading up to today, because if he wasn't a skrull, that would look pretty silly. I would look like quite a fool. So thank you, people that wrote this show, for making him a skrull. I will say, also, this episode in general, I kind of liked. I think this was the first episode of this show that gave me a sense for what this show is about, and felt like it's about something. And I think it's always been about this, but this was the first time having Gravik, out doing his thing and, shooting people, causing chaos, but having a couple of times where he's talked to other characters about it. I think we've understood what his deal is. It's like he wants to take over the planet, and he doesn't like us, and he wants Skrulls to be able to live and all that. Sure. The Gaia Talos conversation about how do we immigrants, how do we assimilate into society, what do we need to do to become accepted, like that's a show. And they talked about it, and you know what? It's interesting. I like that. I kind of wish we were maybe just halfway done instead of like 2/3 of the way done, but man, it's coming together. And beyond all that, it looked good. Today looked great. The Skrulls look fantastic. Half Talos, half, Ben Mendelsohn face, half Skrull face. Looked really good. And you know what? To Don Cheadle out there, to all the Don Cheadles watching, you're having a blast. And we love it. I love watching Don Cheadle act like a real jerk. Best part of that Space Jam movie, Space Jam 2, was Algae Rhythm, the character that does seem to actually be in charge of Warner Brothers these days. But like Don Cheadle, he's played, War Machine, who's been a nice guy. But man, he's a good villain and a real good just piece of work when he wants to play one. He can really do a great job. So I'm really happy for him. I'm happy he gets to kind of have some fun here. And I hope whatever this is, continues. I know the Skrull that was Rhodey is a female Skrull. Now, I originally was like, wait, that must be Varenki then. Otherwise, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just have that be a male Skrull? Not that the name even matters at all. According to the credits, that character's name is Rava. If you're not familiar with that character, that is okay. Although, part of a great book, a Black Bolt book where Black Bolt has to escape from prison, one of the people or, creatures or whatever he allies with is a Skrull named Rava. Now, one of the things that's interesting about Rava in the comics, she cannot shapeshift. So the fact that we have a shapeshifting Rava is like, it just might as well be a random name they gave this character. Part of me wished it was Queen Varenki, but also I don't think it's that important. At this point, I'm taking that Rhodey's a Skrull. I'm going to hold on to that forever and be happy with that. So I want to thank everybody that's watched this channel up until now. It will continue, but I want to thank you, Don Cheadle, War Machine, this wonderful character who was so both enjoyable and also kind of vaguely characterized enough with not specific of a backstory that he was able to be a Skrull. I appreciate that. And most importantly, I want to thank the writers of the show who have the same great idea that I had, 6-ish years ago. Also, speaking of writers, it's crazy that the writer's strike is still going on. They should fix that. Studios should let the writers have what they are asking for, because what they're asking for is not unfair. It's not unreasonable. Having AI write scripts is not going to be good. And not paying people residuals for stuff that you should be paying them residuals for is not good. All the things because I've listened to a lot of writers talking about this, different podcasts and interviews, and the points they're making all make 100% sense. And as someone who both watches these shows, but also would someday like to write shows or movies or something, I want that to be a job humans do, and one that humans are paid reasonably for. It doesn't have to be, a huge fortune but I would like it to be a amount of money that is fair and to not be a job done by a computer. So I think if you agree with me about that, then it seems like for right now at least you agree with the writers. And I just hope that the big studios will listen and they will come to an agreement that everybody believes is fair, especially one that the writers believe is fair, because yeah, it's tough. And I mean, we like these shows, we really enjoy them because of the writers. A lot of it is because of the writers. So we need to, you know, make sure they feel supported. And if the actors strike, I mean, who knows, that might happen very soon. Same to them. So yeah, this little guy right here, Rhodey, on this shirt, he's a Skrull, at least for one episode of a television show in one shot. They, thank God they did that mirror shot where they wiped and it became him to Skrull. That's all I wanted. We got it. So thank you so much for coming on this journey with me. Cannot believe I've been doing this for more than 6 years. That is wild. And we'll see what happens in the future. We'll see what other crazy things that I said end up happening in shows or movies or things like that. I don't know. Thanks for watching the video. Stay safe, everybody. Bye.